Marie is seeking the nomination in Hamilton Mountain because she knows one thing. She knows one thing, which is the next election is not about protest votes. It's a choice of government. If you vote for the NDP, you're going to get 4 more years of Stephen Harper. So it's time to shape up here. There is a blue door. There is a red door. You go through the red door, you get compassionate, fiscally responsible, socially progressive government. You go through any other door with any other color, you get 4 more years of Stephen Harper. That is what Marie understands. That is what I understand. And so I've been putting this off and putting this off, but now I get a moment that gives me enormous pride to announce that Marie Bountrogianni will be seeking the nomination in Hamilton Mountain. Let's give her a huge welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Michael, we are so fortunate as Canadians to have a man of intellect, integrity, and passion for human rights and true democracy wanting to lead our country. Thank you very much. Michael, quite simply, we need you. The country needs you. Hamilton needs you. We need to bring back policies that reflect the true liberal values that make the lives of our citizens better, that make Canadians proud, and bring us both the level of self-respect as a nation and the level of international respect that Canada once had. And only one man can do that for us and with us, and that is Michael Ignatieff. I too want to acknowledge Beth Finney, Minister Angelinitis, Ted McMeekin, Tyler Banham, where's the energy bunny? And all the other distinguished politicians and candidates for the nominations in their respective ridings. Thank you all for being here. And I know you are all here for one reason, and that is to elect the only federal party that will support Hamilton in realizing its potential, and that is the Liberal Party of Canada. Where were the present federal members during the Pan Am discussions? Where were they when Mohawk College received $20 million in stimulus funds from the Ontario provincial government without any matching funds from Ottawa? And a big thank you to Ted McMeekin and Minister Angelinitis for that $20 million from Mohawk College. This was the only post-secondary institution under this specific program that didn't receive stimulus funds. What was the response, the advocacy from the federal members? They wrote a letter. Where was the leadership from the present federal members to not only fight for Hamilton, but win for Hamilton? We know that Hamiltonians have the energy to fight and win when their elected officials show leadership. When in 1999, the Ontario Conservative government was going to approve the downgrading of our only emergency hospital on the mountain, 80,000 Hamiltonians from across the city said no with their signatures, their protests, and their journeys to Queen's Park. And this was before internet. These were signatures. And we won, my friends, and we did that when we were in opposition. And my partner, the co-chair in the Save the Henderson Hospital, Deb Matina, is here. Thanks, Deb, for being here. We worked with small business, unions, doctors, nurses, all political parties, all levels of government, professors, patients, with everyone to save our hospital. And that's as it should be, working with everyone. And that is what our liberal values guide us to work and to succeed. Would we have succeeded if I, as your elected provincial member, simply wrote a letter to Mike Harris? Hamiltonians advised my team when I was immigration minister on the needs of new Canadians and helped me negotiate a better deal for our new citizens, but also, as importantly, a better deal for Ontario taxpayers. Hamilton was at the table. It was the community leadership in Hamilton that advised me and advocated with me for a better deal for social services funding from the federal government and more equitable post-secondary education funding for our students. It was a start, but we're still not treated completely fairly. We have more work to do because our progress is being threatened by Harper's musings of cutbacks of the transfers to the provincial governments. Let's not forget, that's not this budget, it's the 2012 budget. It's the devil's in the details. Hamilton academics, childcare workers, and parents worked alongside me when I was Ontario Minister for Children and Youth when we negotiated a $2 billion deal for early learning for Ontario. A significant amount came to Hamilton. This was torn up shamelessly by the then new Harper government. Shame on him. Shame. Hamiltonians were at the Ontario consultation table for their fellow citizens with disabilities because Hamilton was ahead of its time in this area. And friends, it was a Hamilton businessman who sat on my advisory council when I was charged with developing the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act in 2004 who said of the pace and the potential expense to business, Minister, as a businessman, you're scaring me a little, but as a father of a disabled daughter, you're not moving fast enough. It was a turning point in the consultations that led to a law passed unanimously in the Ontario legislature that puts Ontario in the forefront of accessibility for our citizens with disabilities. Friends, that kind of heartfelt passion and support for one's neighbors is the Hamilton way. And leader, Hamilton is a leader in the country in volunteer hours. We're a city with heart. Because we understand, for the grace of God, go any of us. And we need to treat everyone with respect. It is because of that value that I am a Liberal. Yeah. These values have been eroded by the Harper government. Where do we begin, Leader? Too many examples. Let's reflect on just a few. How about when the Conservatives shut down Parliament to cover up the Afghanistan detainee scandal? And no matter where we stand as individual Canadians on the actual issue, we should all be worried. Indeed, we should all be angry that the government wanted to muzzle the dissemination of the truth. You imagine, in Canada, in this century, not wanting its citizens to know the truth. Who do they think they are? Let's go to international trade and the valuable time we lost when Harper alienated China at the beginning of his tenure. Do you remember that? Or angering Mexico and the resulting loss of tourism dollars for our country. I know this firsthand working in the arts and tourism industry for the last 3 years. I saw the negative economic impact firsthand. And speaking of the arts, do you remember when the Prime Minister called the supporters of the arts the elites who go to fancy parties? I've worked closely with philanthropists over the last 3 years. They employ hundreds of thousands of people across this great country and donate hundreds of millions of dollars to hospitals, universities, and yes, the arts. Many of them are Order of Canada recipients. These are the people that Harper picked on in order to appeal to his base? Is this the kind of Prime Minister we deserve? No. We don't need this type of divisive governing. We've seen it before in Ontario. We're Canadian. We are, as Michael Ignatieff has said, a serious people. We deserve better leadership. We deserve better government. Canada deserves it, and Hamilton deserves it. I'm running to do my part as part of a Hamilton Liberal team to fill the federal leadership void in this city. And very importantly, I am running because we have an inspirational leader who recognizes our potential as a city and who can support us in fulfilling that potential. As Prime Minister Michael Ignatieff. Michael agrees that it is Hamiltonians that need to tell us, its politicians, what the city needs. I look forward to consulting with community leaders, politicians, business people, unions, students, seniors, basically every Hamilton citizen that wants to say what the needs are. We need to listen to the citizens. listen to their needs and set priorities for a Hamilton-based campaign. Both in order to Hamilton, we have to win though. So friends, get out your running shoes because I'm looking for volunteers, okay? Not only for the mountain, but for all of Hamilton. Let's put Canada back on the map by putting Hamilton back on the map. We need to win all of the ridings here. We need to knock on all the doors. We need to raise money for all the ridings, support all our candidates. We can do it. We've done it before. Hamilton can be great again. So let's go.